Hey everyone, Rascal here.
And Mama, welcome to our podcast.
Today we're covering the Netflix anime film, A Whisker Away.
Junior high school student Miyo Sasaki is in love with her fellow classmate Kento, but
what else
he
is new?
never appears to take any notice of her. After discovering a magic mask that can transform her into a cat named Taro, she finally grabs the attention of Hinode.
Yes, and before we get into the film, be sure to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell to get updates on future podcasts and Luna Paws videos.
That's Kento.
Kento, oh well.
Yeah, I mean, that's what she keeps calling him. So,
right.
Yes.
And
brilliant casting. Let's mention how we read on line that this movie was originally meant to be released in Japan in theaters, but after things went awry, they decided to go ahead and sell the rights to Netflix.
Yes.
And that's how we got. We were able to see this movie.
Right. And I actually heard about the film from Sylveon14. Shout out to her.
Yes.
She had shared the film, and it was in Japanese. And they did not have the English dub until recently when we went back, and they said more dubbing had been added because it's a little bit of a slower process currently to get different languages out. So once they updated that they had an English version of the movie out, we were able to watch it as soon as it was ready.
Definitely. And we have some voice acting favorites, I should say, that are doing the English dub. We got Jeremy Lee and Johnny Young Bosch.
Yes, and Ichigo.
Yes, we also have
Keith Silverstein,
Todd Havercorn,
Kirk Thornton,
Bryce Peppenbrook,
Christina V,
and a host of others.
Yes, and like, wow, they're appearing. Everything we're watching right now, they're so far appearing in it.
Yes.
Oh, what's the deal? Did Phoenix jinx us?
Keep them coming, because we love all of these voice actors, and it just excites us and brings us joy to hear them every time we're watching something new, whether it be an anime series or a movie or even a short, and we hear their voices now. It's like, yes, it's them. We know it is.
Yes, like excited. I know that one. I know that guy. And for here, the animation was very, very beautifully well done. I like the drawings and designs of the characters, especially when they get to the little cat ones. And also the trailer, we'll mention the trailer is slightly off when it tells what the movie's about.
Definitely.
Because Whisker Away, when you watch the trailer, sounds like the entire movie is sort of, in a way, is like a Studio Ghibli film. But when they show the trailer, they make it seem like the whole movie's taking place in this invisible world where these anthropomorphic cats live with humans, or in this area where humans are, but it doesn't really come into play until like maybe the last 30 or 40 minutes of the film. So if you're waiting for that part to happen to see this magical land, you're gonna have to wait a while before it comes up.
Right, and see what happens in the human world first.
Right.
And you have to say that Miyo.
Miyo, yeah.
Miyo is another endearing character. If she's real quirky, she's real offbeat, she's really strange, but you like her. Mm-hmm. And you start cheering for her when you really learn what's going on.
Right.
And you want it to work out for her, you want it to work out well, you want people to be kind to her, and you want people to just let her be whom she is and appreciate her for just the unique individual that she is.
Right. And while, you know, I know some probably say, oh, these characters are kind of the same as you've seen before, but this is a common setup, except for the cat thing. Yeah. The cat thing. A little bit of a setup, having someone having a crush is usually a lot of the type of plots we see in anime movies. Some of them are like romantic, slice of life, and so forth. But for here, yeah, you have that element. It's supposed to be that, but it's really more of a personal story for Miyo, because you're seeing why she ends up putting on the mask, why she wants to do this. Not just because, you know, she likes him. It serves sort of as an escape. Exactly. Because of what goes on in her home life, and she feels like she's being ignored, and this is a way that she has some type of joy that can go in her favor. So as it goes on, it starts to get to the decision where she has to choose if she's gonna be human or she's gonna be a cat. And
that's one interesting story that ensues on what happens and how evil does come into play during the story, and how a couple of other characters actually end up coming to her rescue. to help her without giving away too much of the story.
Right.
Johnny Young Bosch, he plays the object of her affection, Kento. And at first he's a little gruff, he's a little jerk, and you can tell that he's kind of falling for her, but he's fighting it. Yeah, and he's kind of fighting it, like, you're weird. No, I'm not. No, it's like she's weird, and people make fun of her, so he really doesn't want to be connected to her because of what other people say and how they behave.
And as it goes on, there's also a lot of comedy in here too. Yes. It's not like slapstick or anything, but in some of the dialogue, a lot of the dialogue is very witty, and the things they say, like the sarcastic comments they'll say to each other, especially when you have the feline characters. Yes. And there's even a point where you see all of these people who had the similar situation as Miyo, where they thought their lives would be better as cats, and then you kind of see that come into play.
And then you see cats that thought life would be better as humans.
Right. And it was this constant, like, as you say, the grass is always greener. So that was pretty much the theme of the movie once you got to, like, that part of the film, and like, these people think your life's better, you think their life's better, and so forth, and you really come to appreciate whichever side it is of what you already have.
And until you learn what is happening, there's some scenes that look really confusing. You're like, who's she in his lap? Is she already dating him? And you're not sure what's going on until you get to the meat of the story, and then you go, oh, okay, it makes sense. And it's good to know that there are people who really love her as she is, like her friend. She loves her quirkiness. And then Kento comes to appreciate her for many, many reasons and for many things that happen. And evil doesn't win, and happy to say. And that in the spiritual world, or the spirit world, as you said, that she ends up in, she ends up having people that are complete strangers that come to her aid. So it's a really beautiful movie, not only visually but also story-wise. And yes, as you mentioned, it's I don't want to say a plot. It's an arc that's being done frequently. But I do love how in anime they take, I'll just say plots. They take storylines. There we go. Storylines that are commonplace, and they find ways to make them different and unique, and to tell a different story, even though the basis of the story is like a lot of other anime or movies you've seen. And I love that about anime. Yeah, how it does that.
I agree. And for the film itself, you're gonna see a bit of a theme where it feels, as I mentioned earlier, it feels like Studio Ghibli. It feels like Spirited Away. When it gets to that part of seeing this other world with cats, it really feels like it's paying like a homage to Spirited Away. We're seeing this other world that people can't see, and she's part of it but needs to get out. That's what it kind of feels like. It's not ripping it off. It's a difference. It doesn't feel like it's ripping off and trying to do the same plot as that movie, but you have that element or that essence of that film in it. And it's great because, Studio Ghibli makes amazing films. So if they took inspiration from that, and it's not just a coincidence, I mean, that's wonderful because we love their movies, and seeing that into this movie, it's like it can be very nostalgic for the people who watch that film or just Studio Ghibli movies in general.
I think Spirited Away, whenever any anime or animated movie we've seen also borrow from it, does it did such a great job at portraying the dichotomy between the living world and the spirit world and the things that go on. It's so memorable that anytime you see anyone take the mantle of trying to put their spin on it, you automatically think of Spirited Away.
Right.
You can't not think of Spirited Away once you've seen Spirited Away.
Right.
And yeah, I don't think it's that people are trying to copy or duplicate. It's like, I love this, and this was such an interesting concept. Let's see, can I put a different spin on it? Can we also escape into that world and make a story? And that's what it seems like to me.
Yeah, it's exactly. That's definitely what I got when I saw it, especially when you look at some of the designs. Like the colors and things are very similar, and the situation she's in is a little similar. It's not the exact plot of the other movie, but you can tell that is the inspiration for it because it always leads to a happy ending. And while we won't tell you what the happy ending is, it's a great experience if you watch the movie from beginning to the very
We also
end.
won't tell you a lot of it happens because then they'll ruin the movie for you.
Yeah.
And we also have to give a shout out to Keith Silverstein.
Yes, who was the voice of the cat storekeeper,
Yeah.
and who would fit anywhere despite him being like Garfield size. And in a way, he almost sounded like Dom DeLuise, so maybe that was another shout out for him playing Tiger in An American Tail.
Yes. And most of the voice actors, for example, Todd Haberkorn, Christina V, Robert Buchholz, and some others, they do double duty doing more than one voice in the movie. And sometimes you'll be able to tell when you hear them. But it also makes it fun because you're hearing them do double roles, and it's always fun when you hear your favorite voice actors and recognize them.
Right.
So, if you took the time to watch this on Netflix and you've seen it, let us know what you think in the comments below. If you haven't seen it, you should take the time to watch it. It is a beautiful and lovely movie. It's very calm. It's something that will leave you smiling by the time you're done and happy that you took the time to watch it.
Yes. Oh, and be sure to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell to get updates on future podcasts and World of Paws videos.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much for watching. I'm Ask Entertainments.
And I'm Mom Entertainment.
Have a fantastic day.
Peace.
And reporters sitting, flashing lights, trying to walk around, man, who the hell are you? What you wanna do? Well, man, it's on you. Man, it's on you. Hit her in my dreams, she was my queen. A castle in the mountaintops, rivers and streams. Plucking sunlight from the sky in my pocket, give it to you later on in the form of a locket.